Hello, coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest updates. We start with this transfer report claiming that Arsenal and Manchester United are bringing strong competition to Barcelona when it comes to a move for Premier League star Ruben Neves. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then to conclude, we are going to be talking about this Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan, as it has been reported that the soon-to-be free Man City veteran, one of the favorites of Barcelona management. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Barcelona are set to enter the transfer market in January for the signing of a new midfielder to add more quality cover in the pivot position. There are growing concerns about the performances of Sergio Busquets, and Barcelona do not wish to wait until the summer to bring in a new player in the position. While a sea of names have been linked to the move to Spotify Camp Nou, Ruben Neves of Wolves has popped up as the most viable candidate for Barcelona. The 25-year-old has already admitted his desire to play for Barca, while his agent, Josh Mendes, is prepared to help the club secure a loan-to-buy arrangement in January as well. However, Barca's sporting staff is believed to be not entirely sold on the Portuguese international and have doubts over his suitability for the role. Amidst all this, according to reports in England, as relayed by Sport, Arsenal and Manchester United are ready to torpedo Barcelona's plans to sign Ruben Neves by moving for him in the January window. The two Premier League giants have held a long-standing interest in the 25-year-old Wolves' ace and could act on it in January, which will make things difficult for Barca. The Catalans had shown an interest in signing Neves in the summer itself, but the move was made complicated by the club's €60 million price tag, and while the midfielder could have left for different teams, he decided to stay at Wolves in hope of securing a future move to Barcelona. However, he is now aware that Barca are having doubts about his signing and are looking at other options as well. The former FC Porto man could accept any significant proposal that might come his way from either Arsenal or Manchester United or a different club. Given his contract expires in 2024, Ruben Neves will likely be available for a sum lower than the €60 million that Wolves initially demanded for him in the summer. But Barcelona are still not yet convinced about him and are assessing other options as well, which could leave the window open for other parties to swoop him away. Barcelona continue to monitor the market for a new defensive midfielder as Busquets is leaving the club when his contract comes to an end. Of course, names like Ruben Neves has been mentioned a lot, as Barcelona continue to monitor the player very keenly, even though reports came out the other day saying that, some members of the Barca coaching staff are not too convinced about Ruben Neves being the replacement for Sergio Busquets. But, of course, he's still strongly linked despite that. Barcelona continue to consider him strongly as one of the candidates to replace Busquets. Of course, the player last week even made it clear that he's happy with those links from Barca and he's open. He's open to joining Barca. Of course, who is not open to joining Barca? Even though Barca is not the Barca in the past. Ruben Neves is still waiting, to be honest, because they are claiming that Arsenal and Manchester United are also strong suitors for the player. But he definitely wants the move to the Camp Nou. But now that reports are talking about how some members of the Barca coaching staff are not that convinced about Ruben Neves' ability or his stature to be a Barca type of player, definitely the player might just change his mind and maybe be open to other places like United or Arsenal, because that might also change his mind. So let's see what happens if actually Barca go for him or not. Definitely, there are a lot of options that Barca have been linked with in that DM role. And the idea is that Barca want to go, maybe if they can bring the player, whatever the player that they choose, come in January before Busquets leave in the summer. That's the idea that Alemani talked about, rather than waiting till the summer transfer window. But let's see how it goes. It's we don't know if they'll go for a free agent or they'll go for a player who still has a long-term contract. It all remains to be seen what decision Barca make. But of course, at the end of the day, we want a player who has a quality, of course, who has the Barca style, and definitely who is consistent in performances. That's just it. You know, Definitely Busquets is a legend in the club, and it will be difficult for a player to come and replicate Busquets what he have done over the years at Barca. But Barca they just want to ensure that they make the best selection, and of course to ensure that the player who comes and replace Busquets has a lot of quality. Then on to the next story of discussion. With Barcelona set to dip their toes into the transfer market for a new midfielder to replace Sergio Busquets, a host of players have been touted as targets for the club. Ruben Neves of Wolves has been the most heavily linked, while recent reports indicated that Chelsea star N'Golo Kante is another player who is greatly admired by Blaugrana. Along the same lines, Andres Sanchez, Spanish journalist, is now reporting that the Barcelona sports management team and the technical staff are huge admirers of Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan. The German international is one of the most experienced and top quality midfielders in the Premier League and has been critical to Man City's success over the past 5 years or so. However, Gundogan's contract with Premier League champions will expire at the end of the ongoing campaign. While talks over a new deal are likely to be held, there is no certainty that the former Borussia Dortmund star will sign it. With Rodri and Calvin Phillips at Pep Guardiola's disposal, Gundogan's involvement is likely to decrease gradually, which could force the veteran star to consider a move elsewhere. And Barcelona could become an enticing option considering that he is understood to be one of the favorites for Barca's management. Barca director Matteo Alemani has made it clear that the club will once again look to make or to take advantage of the free agent market in the summer, and Gundogan could represent a quality option for them, given his proven pedigree and top-level experience. While he would not be a long-term solution, his arrival could allow Barca some buffer to identify and, of course, sign the most ideal replacement for Busquets. It will be interesting to see if this is an avenue that Barca intend to pursue over the next few months. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.